Hey guys, you're listening to Metal Matters, a weekly Gimme Radio podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hill. If you like metal, punk, hardcore, or anything extreme, you've come to the right place. So subscribe and never miss out. It was late on a Friday afternoon, and I got an email asking if I would be interested in interviewing Philip Anselmo. The thing was, it was in a couple of days, and normally I like to have a lot of time to prepare, do some research, get my questions together. But I'm also a big fan of rising to the occasion. So, of course, I agreed to do it. Also, what do you really need to do research on Phil Anselmo for? He's got one of the most prolific back catalogs in all of rock music. The guy's a legend. He's been around forever, putting music out. So it was an honor talking to Phil. It was short and sweet. He had a full day of press going on, and it was a rare open slot in his day. So they shoehorned me in. Nice short, sweet interview. Covered a lot of bases. The thing I was the most excited about was talking about N Minor, his recent project, which has a set of songs that have been released and plans for a full-length record at some point in the future. You have a multitude of projects going on. What's really exciting to me is the N Minor project, because it's a sort of departure from a lot of the other material that you have going on. So first off, who's in the band?
Well, right now, because N Minor is obviously, like all of my other projects, made up of other band members from different bands. I got Steve Taylor on guitar. That's Steve from the Illegals. I've got I got three Steves. I got Steve Taylor on guitar. I got Steve Bernal on cello. And maybe I have two Steves. I got an engineer named Steve too. Sorry. I think that's the joke. I've got Kevin Bond. People would know him from Superjoint.
Oh yeah, okay.
On guitar. Normally, Jimmy Bauer is our drummer, but he's in Europe on tour with I Hate God. So we got Blue from the Illegals, Joey Gonzalez, on drums right now. I've got the Dover brothers, Calvin and Joner is his name. It's kind of a strange name, Joner. Joner plays bass, Calvin plays keys, and we have the awesome Paul Webb on guitar. And Paul is a local guy here from New Orleans that is just, he's an incredible player, and he's stepping in to help us. He's not really a full-time member. We wish he was, but he owns a business here in New Orleans, so it's one of those things. So, yeah, God, I hope I didn't forget anybody. I don't think I did.
I listened to the 7-inch.
Was that eight people?
I think so, yeah. It's about 8
Okay.
by my reckoning there. So I listened to the 7-inch, and one of the things I think is most interesting about it is that a lot of times you'll hear different types of records by bands who do a certain type of music. You know, for example, it's like, all right, we're playing extreme metal, but now we're going to do a record that's acoustic or something like that. And it sounds like guys who play metal playing something different.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's not the case with N Minor, though. So, what's the story?
Thank God.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man. It really, a lot of these songs predate anything from Pantera, even. Actually, man, I actually wrote a couple, like Long Way to Go. I wrote that in early 1988. And it's just one of those songs that have been with me for a long, long time. And there's a couple songs like that. But thank goodness we've grown, and other players have stepped up. Big time Steve Taylor, man. Steve Taylor's a main contributor. Kevin Bond's written some stuff. And the Dover brothers are just incredible, man. Great players. And I don't think they absolutely don't come from heavy metal backgrounds. So it's good to have those type of players with us, and all the contributions as far as some of the newer songs that you'll, I guess, be hearing out there in Vegas, man.
Yeah, some of the material reminds me of like Swans or like Angels of Light or something like that, where there's
the big time Swans for sure.
Yeah, real somber tone, but also the way Michael Gira sort of has this kind of like American like vibe to it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean the N minor stuff. It kind of took me by surprise because I'd heard you do mellower material in different bands. However, this came to me, and I was like, wow, this is like, I've listened to it like maybe 7, 8, 9 times, and I just got the 7-inch like maybe less than a week ago. And yeah, it's like really, it's interesting, like I said. And so you were saying that the song, There's a Long Way to Go, has been with you for a long time. So is any of the other material like collaborative, or do you write a lot of the stuff just on your own and bring everyone in?
No, it's very collaborative at this point in time. Very collaborative. Like I mentioned a second ago, Steve Taylor writes a whole lot of stuff. Kevin Bond has written stuff. So, yeah, I mean, well, I guess what I meant by telling you that to begin with is, yes, I do have a handful of old songs that are still with us that I've written, I guess you could say exclusively. But these days, N minor, man, it really is one gigantic collaboration. And someone asked me, do we have enough material to play for an hour or whatever? My answer to him was, we've got enough material to play for 3 hours. So this is something I've really been sitting on top of for a long time. And I don't know what the apprehension has been, man. Anything that you could name, from preconceived notions to just my performance in general, just everything. I'm a nervous wreck about it, for God's sake.
That's good, though. I mean, that's like pushing yourself on that sort of discomfort zone is always a way to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Yeah, and like when Scott Kelly and Steve Von Till started doing acoustic stuff, it was kind of the same story with them. It was just like, I imagine you feel more exposed up on stage without that wall of amps behind you and that volume and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's more of a case where the quieter you are. Matter of fact, I said it the other day in the practice room, the quieter that you are, the cooler you are. The coolest guy is the most quiet guy. It's kind of a joke, but, yeah.
So playing live,
very delicate stuff going on.
I've seen you play, pretty much all your bands. I did not see Scour when they played in Brooklyn. And, you're a high-energy performer. So how is the N minor live performance different for you? Like, what sort of, different aspects of your, personality or your personality as a performer get expressed in the live settings?
Well, really, I guess we'll find out on gig night. I mean, honestly, the energy of the songs kind of dictate the energy of what I'm doing, but that energy really is so different right now with N minor that honestly for this first gig I just get the feeling I'm going to have my eyes closed and just concentrating and just trying to do the best performance that I can do with the rest of my band. and just get through this one the best we can, man. And I will say, I'm surrounded by great talent, and today will be our 5th practice as a full band with these particular members. So it's very early in the game, but man, I mean, it's one of those things where I've been so apprehensive about this band that it's finally like, when Psycho reached out and said, hey, will N minor play? It was like, do we put the pressure on ourselves to come on out and just say, okay, we're going to do the festival. That way we have deadlines. That way we actually do get together, get comprehensible as a band, and get listenable. I think all that pressure is good. Like you mentioned before, it is good, to get the ball actually rolling. Because, man, if people just left it to me, I would probably still be indecisive. Like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're ready, or, because honestly, this year, just with the illegals alone, it's so busy, so busy. And it just so happened, that the Psycho reached out. And here we are, we said yes, and we allowed the pressure to be put on us, and I guess the ball is officially rolling now, and I think that's what most of the band members wanted anyway. It's if I wasn't going to make the decision, make the decision. Just make the decision. Let's do this.
So there's this 2-song single that's making its rounds right now. Is there a full-length record recorded or preparing to be recorded at some time down the line?
It's recorded, man.
Nice.
I'm sitting on. As far as recorded stuff, I would say we're probably sitting on 2 records, 2 full lengths right now. At least 2 full lengths worth of material, and whether it's worth hearing or not, that's up to other people. But and I guess on top of that, we're in the midst of writing constantly. So it's like every time we get together to do practices, we always write a little bit too. So, yeah, man, we probably have, as far as excellent skeletons for, what would be a 3rd album's worth of stuff, we're almost there too. So there's plenty of material, man, and it, let's see, yeah, I guess the full length, which I'm dying for people to hear, by the way. I really am dying for people to hear, especially now that just those 2 songs are out. It's like, it kind of drives me crazy because the full length that's coming out, the songs are so, there's some that are similar, and then, there's others that are just so different. It's kind of driving me crazy that people don't understand the full gamut of music that N minor does have. But, hey, I guess after the Vegas show they will. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And it's funny, I got to hand it to you. And you said that there's a lot of material. Paraphrasing what you said earlier, in general, you have a lot of fucking material out there, man. It's like every time I turn around, there's like a new band that you're in, and or some new record by a new band, and it just seems like a constant stream of just material coming out from your end of the world there, So how do you keep it up, man? It's all it's always been a question in my mind, is how you keep this stream up.
Man, the only answer that just jumps into my mind is it's all I know how to do, man. It really is, and that's maybe a little sad, but I mean, fuck, man. That's all I've ever done is write music, man. That's really all I've ever done. That's, I guess, put cereal in boxes and dog food in the bags, man. You know, it's like shit. So, you know, and it's strange, too, because I haven't picked a guitar up in almost 2 years now, man. It's kind of wild. And I guess that credits my, especially, once again, Steve Taylor, man. Steve Taylor's a riff machine, especially for N minor.
Yeah.
He's a part writer. He's a beautiful songwriter, man. And it's good to have that energy around me where I don't have to write anything. Not that that's a problem or whatever. You know, I've always written, you know, riffs and stuff, but just lately it kind of feels good to have guitar players that can feed me ideas that I'm just like, wow, perfect. Let me just sing over that. And, yeah, man, that's really how it happens, man. And the fact that Steve and I work so closely together, I guess, that is, I guess, why it seems like there's just this constant flow of creativity, you know. He's an amazing player, man. Amazing person in my life, too. Great guy, man.
So with the impending performance coming up, are you guys going to do like a local show, just like kind of small, low-key kind of thing, or just going to go big in front of like all those people?
Nah, man, we got Wednesday night in New Orleans.
Okay.
And kind of a secret down low show. I have no idea of what the attendance is going to look like. I can't even imagine whether it's going to be 5 people or 15 people or 50 people or more. I don't know. I have no idea. And to be truthful, since the 7-inch came out, I don't normally go to music sites anyway. Ever, unless someone sends me a link, you know, oh, check this out, you know. But I have not checked up on any reaction to any of this. So I'm going in completely blind, in part because it's not my practice really to go look at all these reactions or anything like that, really, for the most part. But also because I've been working with the band so much, you know, just trying to get things right. And it really is it's a challenge. It really is a different type of challenge when each guy in the room, as I said before, is trying to play very delicate, restrained stuff. There's power in restraint in this playing, and to get all that stuff right, especially with guys that actually do come from heavy metal backgrounds, it's different, you know. And I'll say, you know, even with Jimmy Bauer, who plays drums really, really hard in Down and other bands, you know, it's like it took him a little bit to understand that he didn't have to destroy the drums to play this stuff. Lay back, be easy. But now that he's not doing the gig, you know, reteaching that whole dynamic to Joey is, you know, once again, it's a challenge. So we have these little things, you know, to overcome. Little things turn big things if they go down the drain. But so far, I gotta say it's been pretty good. I think this evening's rehearsal will be one step closer. And Tuesday, of course, another step closer. I think it's one of those things we're just going to have to build over time, man. It's nothing, I guess because I've been working with the Illegals so much this year, so busy, you know, with the N minor thing, the gig in Vegas and the gig in New Orleans before that, popping up. You know, I can't say all the production's going to be perfect as far as lights or anything like that, because honestly, I've never worried about any of that stuff before. I've been in bands that have always prided themselves on the ability to quote-unquote throw and go. You know, punk rock, throw the amps up there, throw the drums up there, mic them up, let's go. And with N minor, it's kind of like you can't necessarily, we could do it, but for the better of the band, it's good to have either more production time or just more time in general to I guess, prepare for this type of gig. So we're going in with best intentions. We're going in pretty well practiced, but as a whole, as an entire package or unit, I think that there's some things that we could have, or honestly, I think there's things that will change over time and evolve over time. So we'll see.
Well, thanks a lot, Phil. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your time on this. And good luck with these upcoming dates. And also, we didn't even talk about it, but good luck with the Slayer gigs coming up with the Elite.
Oh, man. I appreciate you, brother. That means the world. Talk about everything coming full circle, man. It's pretty incredible, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for giving me a little platform here, brother, and I appreciate it. You coming out to the show, you think?
Not the one in Vegas, but the N minor show. If you guys ever come to New York, I'm definitely there. And the Slayer gig is like possibly you got that Slayer show, man. It's like I think I'm gonna be at that one to see you guys.
Yeah, that'll be fun, man. That'll be fun. The Illegals been killing that stuff. They've been knocking that Pantera stuff out of the park, man. They've been doing really well on that stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Illegals play before. I've seen you guys at there was that festival in Detroit. I caught your set there. It was great.
Oh man, I appreciate you big time, brother.
All right, man.
Thank you so much. All right, brother. Be cool and see you when I see you.
You got it, man. Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's it for this week's episode of Metal Matters, a Gimme Radio weekly podcast. Tune in next week and see what we have in store for you. The show is available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Also, be sure to check out Gimme Radio, streaming on the web, iOS, or Android, for one of the best metal communities, exclusive merch, interviews with artists, and so much more. I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.
Like a